Hey guys, what's up? There's definitely a tremor underneath us. Whoa, the floor's collapsing.
Okay.
Broke into the wrong goddamn rec room, didn't you, you bastard?
If you don't know the rules, we only watch movies that are 30 years or older.
It's a rule that you have to remind me of every time we do this.
He's like, hey.
Can we do Avengers Endgame? And you said no.
And then you said, hey, can we do Gremlins 2? And I said,
maybe. Kind of like Gremlins 2, Tremors, monsters, Southern people. I'm not a world traveler, but I've traveled across the United States. I feel like every state you go to, there is some sort of Southern people. Because I've been to like Pittsburgh, and just outside of Pittsburgh, there's just like a little area, and they're like, "Hi, we just killed us a deer. You want to eat it?"
You always have a redneck.
It's insane. And this is proof. I legit thought this movie was set in like Texas, so I had to look a little closer.
If you don't know what Tremors is, if you're watching this being like, what the heck? I was just looking for some earthquake content. Well, you're in for a treat.
This is pretty much a Jaws ripoff / like upping the ante a little bit. Mm-hmm. They're like, what if Jaws was in the desert? And what if Chief Brody were two handymen
that were just coming into town to like pick up some supplies?
Yeah.
And that's the movie, and it is, in a word, amazing. In another word, insane.
In another word, bad? I mean, not bad. No, it's like it's intentional. I don't know. It's intentionally bad.
Well, I don't think
it's intentionally. You're right. I think what they did is they cut it all together and they said, "Dang, this movie's bad."
It actually did well at the box office considering its budget and the time it got released, which January. But also, it became a cult classic, and it spawned multiple sequels, a sci-fi TV show, and I gotta tell you, the second sequel.
We have to talk about Kevin Bacon because this movie, get out of my face, Footloose. Animal House, he's barely in it.
Yeah. This
is the movie that I think launched Kevin Bacon.
It really is, if you think about it.
This is before A Few Good Men.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a heartthrob. Why was 90s Kevin Bacon not on more people's walls? I don't know. So he plays Valentine, cool name, and then Fred Ward plays Earl.
Cool name as well.
It's like it's like watching two dudes who are also watching the same movie that you're watching.
Yeah.
But they're really there. So they're just like, let's get out of town. Like, dang, monster stopped us.
Yeah.
Hey, we got to do something about this monster. We're going to ride some horses. The movie's insane to me.
I guess we should explain how the monster works.
Yeah.
So it is a Jaws that runs through the ground, basically.
Yeah.
But it uses, like a bat, echolocation. So if you're walking around, stomping around, it'll hear that and go to it, and it's always hungry. It's always hungry. This thing is never not hungry.
Yeah.
It's ready for a snack. And it will snack on some humans. This big, huge worm that has 3 tentacles, that has its own little faces on it, and it attacks this small, sleepy town in Nevada. Yeah. And it's literally just a family and this guy who owns a shop.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
There's like 2 families.
Oh, and then there's a crazy gun owner, dude, with Reba McEntire. I'm talking about Bert.
Oh, dude, Reba in this movie and her husband Bert, they're crazy gun people. Even like by like 80s standards and 90s standards, crazy gun people.
Yeah, he has all kinds of rifles. He's got an elephant gun.
There's nothing more though like 2020 like America than the gun scene where they just start pulling guns from the wall and they're just like and they're just like grabbing like a machine gun and they're just going and I'm like, this is America right here.
It's perfect like 80s movies, but also great like over the top stuff that we see. These like if you think about John Wick, there's a similar scenes in like John Wick where he's just like pulling guns out, shooting people. That started in Tremors. So you can thank Tremors for John Wick.
I don't know. They're trying to figure out how to get out of this town because they can't go through rock.
Yeah, they cannot go through certain rocks. If it's like a huge rock,
The science is iffy.
and their science person is like
A college student, a PhD student.
that is like studying earthquakes.
Yeah. Speaking of that, this has the most like confusing love triangle. Kevin Bacon at the beginning like wants her to be a blonde, wants her to be like really pretty, and he's just kind of disappointed when he gets there. But Fred Ward, Earl, he's kind of like infatuated with her, and he kind of flirts with her the whole time. But then at the end of the movie, and like randomly in parts, like she wakes up and she's got like Kevin Bacon's jacket like over her, and he's like, oh, but at the end, then they like kiss.
Yeah.
And I'm so confused because there's never a moment where Kevin Bacon's like, you know what? She is really pretty. There's never a moment where she's like,
No.
hey, that's Kevin Bacon from Footloose.
I think it's one of those things from the 80s that we don't see nowadays. Like if this movie's made in 2020, it wouldn't need a love interest.
Yeah.
But in the 80s, every movie needed a love interest.
And then we have Grandpa from The Three Ninjas.
Perfect casting.
Perfect casting. Walter.
And him just like explaining the graboids and like naming them.
He wants to profit from the graboids. He's taking a picture of a little girl with the graboid like right here.
Yeah. That thing must smell gross, by the way.
Dude. If it was made today, like it was made in the 80s, it would be like a Sharknado thing.
But it would be one of those things where like Sharknado is made bad on purpose.
Yeah.
This is just organically was bad.
But I don't know, it's like the perfect storm of just 90s and Kevin Bacon with long hair.
The only way you have to watch this is you have to find an old VHS player, and you have to find an even older version of Tremors. Tremors, like where you see the tape, it's like thin, it's like barely stuck together, and it's like when you put it in, and it's you can barely see what's going on.
And then like the VCR makes a noise the whole time.
Yeah, that is the only way to watch Tremors.
It's also recorded over like something else.
Someone had clicked the thing over that way you could record over it. But yeah, it's one of those movies that's from its time, and it's amazing to watch now because you're just like, well, first of all, you're like, how does a movie get made?
Yeah.
But also, you're thankful that a movie like this can exist because it lays the groundwork for all these movies that come after it, all these monster movies.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't even get to talk about like how the violence is just insane in this too.
Oh yeah, it's like blood everywhere.
A dude's head, like they lift up a hat, and the dude's head is just like when Grandpa from Three Ninjas dies.
Oh yeah,
it is sudden, and it's like it doesn't even, you don't even get to see the blood come out. It just cuts back to him. He's just like blood.
Yeah, and he gets swallowed whole.
Yeah,
which is terrifying to watch. Please go watch this movie, and then come back and re-listen to this.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. Part of the reason why we decided to watch it.
And go see the sequels, I guess.
Well, watch at least the second one. Fred Ward shows back up in that one, and so does Bert. And it's great. And Bert is basically all of the sequels.
I don't know. I definitely don't want to watch it then.
It's basically Bert doing stuff to fight Tremors as they evolve.
Yeah, I don't like that.